The Five Dimensions of Human-Centered Healthcare Platforms by Sam Boston. Narrated by an AI narrator. We live in the age of platforms. Industry after industry is being transformed by their emergence. Facebook in social networking, Amazon in e-commerce, Uber in transportation, Airbnb in hospitality, and the iOS-Android duopoly in communications. The move by platform builders into healthcare will be transformative and is posing a threat to the incumbent healthcare organizations. Some examples are Amazon Care, Google's Onduo, and the Apple Watch. One thing to keep in mind is that platforms are networks. They exponentially gain value and strength as they grow. One or two networks usually dominate in any industry, with a strong advantage going to early movers. Many organizations can still thrive in a platform-dominated environment, but they usually do so by adapting to the dominant platform's presence and acquiescing to their dominance. I expect the same to happen in healthcare, since the same network economics are at play. Healthcare leaders need to understand the structure and function of healthcare platforms. They need to evaluate their development and effectiveness. And finally, they need to quantify their impact on their industry and businesses. A good starting point is to study existing platforms in other industries and to apply the achieved insights to healthcare. This video will propose a framework for undertaking this work. The first component of the framework are the 5 dimensions that describe the structure of healthcare platforms. The first of those dimensions is the human dimension. Improving individual happiness, experiences, relationships, and decision-making, HERD, is the main value creation mechanism for healthcare platforms. Platforms that maximize individual satisfaction in these areas will gain a significant competitive advantage. This advantage, coupled with network effects, will lead to the rise of the dominant healthcare platforms. The second dimension is data. Platforms will generate data through the ambient and continuous monitoring of clinical, mental, and social parameters, and correlating them with HERD outcomes. This data will be the raw material for all future value creation in healthcare. Data privacy and security will be of paramount importance to platforms. Any breach of these core values will result in the loss of access to the data, which will be devastating to their future success. The third dimension is technology. Private and public cloud technology will be the data storage and compute infrastructure for healthcare platforms. Artificial intelligence, and especially machine learning, will be the only tools capable of processing the enormous volumes of data collected. These technologies will enable the generation of the knowledge to inform and direct platform operations and HERD maximizing interventions. The fourth dimension is the platform management framework. The strategy of healthcare platforms will be to systematically explore the HERD feasibility, desirability, viability space. The goal of this exploration will be to identify optimal healthcare service configurations that are needed to maximize HERD. Agile management is the best available platform management framework. Agile platforms will possess an insurmountable advantage over bureaucratic hierarchies. The fifth and final dimension of healthcare platforms is delivery. The human-healing relationship will continue to be the cornerstone of healthcare. Continuous and seamless access to healthcare services through digital, retail, community, home, and facility channels will be expected from healthcare platforms while maintaining the human connection. For all those touch points, high satisfaction interactions in both physical and virtual spaces will be expected. The design of those interactions and spaces will be a critical skill for healthcare platforms. The effective execution across these 5 dimensions will enable the achievement of breakthrough performance on HERD outcomes, while delivering on the triple aim of healthcare, which is superior service, optimal outcomes at an affordable cost. My plan is to continue to develop this framework for understanding healthcare platforms and to track their evolution. This work will likely progress through the following stages. Finalize the dimensions of healthcare platforms' effectiveness. Identify the competency elements of each dimension. Define progressive performance levels for each element. And finally, create a competency maturity model for healthcare platforms to serve as a yardstick to measure the maturity of existing platforms and provide a blueprint for future ones. I will share my findings on my LinkedIn profile and the Healthcare Innovation by Design LinkedIn group, which is now 18,000 members strong. Please join me in one of those 2 locations if you find this topic of interest. Thanks for watching.